JJ, you had 2 games now with the new personnel with DFS and Shake in there. Just wonder if any overarching kind of, again, it's small sample size, but how they fit in and where you like about the team as you move forward here.
Just in general, I like the spirit of the team right now. I like our connectedness. I think Doe, his spirit, talk, leadership, all that stuff. He's got a natural gift for that. Guys respect him because he plays hard. He'll continue to evolve as a offensive player, defensive player, matchup wise. Like really, excited about what a month looks like from now versus putting any sort of pressure on him to make a massive impact. But again, I've said this before, his impact is going to not necessarily be in the box score every night. And with Shake, I think just him getting comfortable in our offense, made a couple of really good plays out of our grease last night in the second half with AR and in the 5. So it just, he'll be more comfortable and be in the flow the more games he plays with us.
Atlanta's one of those, more athletic, kind of bigger teams. But do you feel like with your team relative to where you faced them the first time, you can not just handle that better, but the way that you're playing defense, you bring in a couple more athletes. Do you see that you kind of made progress against a team like this?
I think even without the trade, I think we're a different team and a better team than we were when we played them in Atlanta. We were also in the middle of our toughest stretch of the season so far. There's going to be other tough stretches, I have no doubt, but we were going through it then. And, we met that morning and a little bit of an ultimatum, and guys responded. We fought. But we've increased our physicality defensively, and that's how we're going to have to play tonight if we have a chance to stop these guys. They're really good, and Trae Young he's a system unto himself. He really gets his teammates great opportunities. He's right up there at the top of the leaderboard in terms of creating shot quality, highest shot quality for his teammates, and Jalen Johnson's great. DeAndre Hunter's playing, having a career year. They have a lot of weapons.
Hey JJ, 2 for you. One quick one on Dorian. He was dealing with a calf injury before the trade. Has that been something he's still dealing with, or is he past that?
I think it was just a calf contusion, so I think that is dissipated from what I understand.
Okay, and then second thing is. Yesterday there was a viral clip of Charles Barkley taking some shots at you for your analysis of the NBA media sphere and how the game is covered. Did you hear that? I assume you did, based on your
Yeah, I ran a random text from somebody after the game. I look at my phone and it says something about Charles Barkley and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, huh? But Greg and Bo showed me. I didn't make it all the way through the clip. I got to be honest with you. My resting heart rate is probably 64. I watched the clip. It was 64. Literally don't care. I have other thoughts, but don't care.
Oh, that's a lot. Hi. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, JJ. You mentioned Trae Young's system unto himself. How have you seen him change in the time that he's been in the league, especially, having played against him?
Yeah, I think he came into the league and had a high-level impact right away with his shot creation and shot making. His scoring is, I guess, a little bit down this year, but he just continues to evolve as a passer and creator. We were in a 1-5 red that game. It wasn't really the 1-5 that hurt us. It was our just base coverage of switches. And he does such a good job, better than anyone really, of using that hesitation dribble in same-size switching groups and kind of stops behind the screen, which creates a little bit of indecision naturally, and can make a pass out of that, can shoot behind from range. Playing coverage against him is a nightmare. If you let him get to his right hand, he can literally make any play. He can shoot a floater and a lob at the same time. He's just a He's a highly skilled offensive player, and on top of that, he's got natural quickness and a natural ability to get fouled if you play too aggressively with him. So, he did that early, and those little nuances and tricks and reads, he just continues to evolve and makes him harder and harder to guard.
We've reached a 10-game stretch where you guys have been a top 10 defense, 7-3 in that span. Obviously, you guys had a strong start, being, I guess, more offensively proficient. What have you learned, I guess, about the team in those, like, the highs of offense early, now the highs of defense now? And is there a feeling that if you got defensively, maybe that may be more, I guess, the route for you guys to, I guess, night to night be the team that you guys want to be?
I don't think we want to make a sort of bet everything on red type gamble with both roster construction or philosophy around offense versus defense. You need two-way players. You need guys that are willing to compete on both ends and play intelligent basketball on both ends. They're hard to find. I think our group is trending in that direction of being a good offensive team and a good defensive team. I like where our defense is at right now, and I think it's the last 5 games offensively we're top 5 in the league. So I think both sides of the ball right now are trending to be a great team. Generally speaking, you need to be pretty good at both. And obviously, if you're elite at one, you can get away with being average, but very rarely can you get away with being shitty at one. So we're constantly striving to be better on both ends of the ball.
JJ, any optimism with Gabe for either of these Texas games?
Yes, optimism, yes.
And then kind of to Kobe's question about identity and stuff like that, specifically from your role, guys, I guess, how encouraged you've been with, like, the level of buy-in and acceptance when it comes to defense? Like you mentioned last night, talking about everybody does want to score. Max just had, the best scoring game I think he's had since high school. But do you believe that he believes the key to everything is defense, I guess, for a player like that in your role?
I think the guys have a very solid understanding that if you don't defend, you're not going to play. Yeah. As it relates to Max, I have seen him going back to when he got back in the rotation. I think it was the San Antonio game, the first time we played them in San Antonio. Starting with that game, just a buy-in to his role, and that doesn't mean he's been perfect. Frankly, our stars aren't perfect, and other team stars aren't perfect, but you got a star in your role, and I think he's doing that at a high level right now.
Coach, a question for the French media. What is the secret, according to you, for LeBron James to still continue to play at a great level of basketball?
Yeah, I think it's as much as he has some physical gifts, I think it's mental and just his competitive stamina to just continue to hang on to the rope and keep playing the tug-of-war game with Father Time. I mean, there's a certain joy that he gets out of playing the game and competing, and to have the career he's had, the accolades, all the stuff that comes with that, which is substantial, and still be the first guy in the gym to still be here. I showed up here at 2:30 today, and he was already here getting stretched by Mike. So that's what it is to me. It's just competitive stamina.
Hey, Coach, how do you view second night of a back-to-back now versus your playing days, and how different is a night like tonight where that back-to-back was also the same floor you played on last night?
Helps probably a little bit as a player, not having to get on a plane, travel to a different city, get in a hotel room, all that stuff. Helps being in one place. I'd say it's different in the sense that as a player, when you have a back-to-back, your only concern for that night between games and the morning and the afternoon is just recovery and trying to rest, whether that's sleep at night, an afternoon nap, whatever it may be. As a coach, we don't have that luxury. So it's really just taking what you can from the first game, and then doing all your prep work for the second game, which is you normally have a little bit more time for that sort of thing. Your window gets a little shorter.
Hey, JJ, getting back to Max, at what point did you sense that he was ready for a larger role?
I want to just be clear on the question, and I had a back and forth with Brad earlier. The role that you're talking about, when you say larger, what do you mean? Do you mean more playing time?
Within the team, with playing time, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Again, I don't think he has a larger role in terms of like what we're asking him to do. In terms of playing time, it's very simple, and I had a sense that he was, at the very least a high-level rotation player. The first few days I worked out with him in Vegas this summer during Summer League. Clear that he had a high basketball IQ, could shoot it, an elite mover. So I didn't know that he would be ready to start this year, but got a sense of the type of player that he could be from day one, pretty much.
You get the kind of, you're used to the performances like that from LeBron and AD, but to have Max and Dorian combined for so few shot attempts, but to hit them and to kind of play defense, did that typify, you feel like, the effort that they're bringing and kind of where the team energy is at right now?
Yeah, Doe had an awful first half. It was it was bad. He was great in the second half. I told him that at halftime. He was awful. I don't know where that came from. I played with him, watched him. Our game plan discipline in the first half was so bad. So bad. And I thought our guys, they played offensively with the right intent. Another night where we got close to 30 assists. Defensively, Trae Young, he bends you in ways. We played coverage tonight, and he's still 33 and 9. I mean, he's a fantastic offensive player. But I thought our defense overall in the second half was much better. Doe, Max, those guys. Again, you go against elite offensive players, and you're not gonna stop them. They're gonna figure out ways to score and assist their teammates.
Bigger picture, if you don't like the game plan discipline, are you encouraged then that it's not an easy win, but a relatively comfortable one in terms of the scoreline?
Yeah, I'm encouraged by our team in general. I think the message that I relayed to them at halftime is the reason why that stuff matters. The reason why executing a personnel-based scouting report that we've talked about is because I don't want to coach a good team. I don't want to be a part of a good team. I want to be a part of a great team, and I believe this team can be a great team. And so it is about the small details. And, we don't – we said this the other night at halftime against Sacramento, felt the same way against this team, and this is not a knock on either of these teams. It's just the nature of how they play and how they score. At times they're just running up and down the court. It feels like a pickup game. We're going to lose the pickup game. We're going to lose the pickup game. We have to get back on defense. We have to execute on offense. We have to pass. We have to screen. And when we've done that, we've been a really good basketball team.
JJ, what were some of the things that got you most frustrated in the first half in terms of like the things you wanted to see when it came to execution that you guys did?
Started on makes. They had 11 fast break points in the first half, and some of those were off our turnovers. But I scored 9 right after makes, so essentially 20 transition points and a half, which is insane. The thing that really got me was the Bogdanovich running into screens and ghosting out, which we said the last 5 games he's done that a number of times every game. He hasn't set a screen yet. So why are we switching that? and then creating confusion, and then when they get open threes, he gets behind the defense, they score. He's not going to set the screen. He's going to run. You stay with your own. They call a square. Like it's that part of it. Couldn't have emphasized that anymore.
I have two for you, JJ. You guys have won 8 out of 11. I think that's right. And only 2 of those games are against opponents above you in the standings, and you split them against Memphis and Cleveland. With Houston coming up, do you like, or what do you feel about a challenge like that, where you guys are momentum-wise headed into this trip?
Yeah, I would say every night's a challenge. I mean, I just really feel that way about the NBA right now. Every night's a challenge. Every opponent has good players. Every opponent has long defenders. I think it's not just indicative of our team. It's indicative of the league. It's hard to win games. I mean, you saw what I think happened tonight in the West. Max Wivet just told me, Houston loses, San Antonio beats Denver, Dallas loses. Like, it's hard to win night to night. So relishing the challenge of this trip, because Houston's fantastic and Dallas is fantastic, even if Luka doesn't play. But it's no different than tonight. It's no different than last night. It's you got to do it the right way, and you got to build the habits, and you got to execute.
And just as a basketball guy born in the 80s, what's it like to see LeBron pass Michael Jordan in all-time 30-point games on a fadeaway jump shot?
Yeah, I mean, I was unaware of the record until we huddled as a staff. But I congratulated him. It's just another thing that he's done in his career, and certainly speaks to his greatness and longevity. And that stretch, where he hit 2 fadeaways and a 3, kind of gave us the cushion we needed and control of the game.
Hey, JJ, you guys opened the season really hot, had a bit of a losing streak, lost 9 of 11. Now you guys have won 8 of 11 and are back and forth. Obviously, you're used to these ups and downs, having played in the league for 15 seasons. But being in the coaching seat, obviously, we all know how much of a hot seat it is. We saw what just happened to Mike Brown. Do those winning streaks and losing streaks feel different to you now?
I think I know what you're asking me. There's a scene in Band of Brothers where they're in the trenches, and one of the soldiers who's really scared asked the other guy, he says, how are you able to go out and fight, and you don't seem scared? And he says, it's because I'm already dead. So when I took this job, I already died. So I'm well aware of this profession, but it's not even on my radar. I'm already dead. Not a thought day to day.
Wow. It's kind of to her question. Even through the downs that you guys went through, what helped you maintain the belief that this can still be a great team? I guess even through this surge. I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I'll reiterate something that I believe I said in this very room prior to the Philadelphia game, coming off that road trip when we lost 4 or 5, and we were 4-4. And I signed up for the hard stuff. I didn't sign up for the easy stuff. I enjoy problem solving. I enjoy the hell out of coaching. So it's not one thing that led to it's all part of the process and journey of trying to become a good basketball team and hopefully a great basketball team.
JJ, just as a follow-up to that, how do you find like a great basketball team, and what's the nuances in like the good versus great?
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly look at wins and losses. I tend to think of a team that has a firm, consistent identity and a strong belief and confidence in that identity every night. And we're building that, and we are so much further along than we were October 22nd or whenever the first game was. So I'm very, encouraged. Pleased is the wrong word, because you can't get pleased in this profession. You're encouraged, and I'm encouraged by our group right now.
Thanks, Coach.
Dorian, I asked Max this last night about being able to close out the game, with you and him defensively on the wings. Tonight, was a little bit of the same. Just kind of what do you see, early from that pairing, in terms of what you guys can bring defensively?
Since I've been here, Max been terrific on the defensive end, bringing a lot of energy. So when I come in, I just try to match his energy. I told him I've been in his shoes before. Especially sometimes you play defense all day, and you might not get a shot. A lot of people don't keep that intensity when they ain't getting the ball, and I just try to preach it to him that I've been there before, and that's what made me valuable in this league.
Hey, Dorian, I know it's only been like a week or so and only a few games, but how much more comfortable do you feel now compared to when you first got here a week ago?
I'm still learning. I'm still learning plays. They still helping me out. Guys on the court telling me where to be. I'm still messing up pick and roll coverages a little bit because I could switch with so many people, and I ain't used to it. Just like I done messed up one of those switches with AD, and he like, "Doe, come on, we switching." I'm like, "Dang, I ain't used to the 5-man wanting to guard, the main guy." So it's been fun, but also what's the word I want to use? Surprising,
Dorian, what are you learning about kind of this team and how good you feel like the team can be? As you've only been here for a little bit now, but you probably started getting a sense of what it could be like with your teammates.
We get stops. We get out and run. We got guys that can, we got LeBron who caused so much trouble in transition. He make, some of the craziest passes that get through guys' hands. But if we keep teams under close to 100 points, we could be one of the top teams in the league. I don't see why we can't. We got whatever you need. We just, a couple games ago, we got open looks. We just ain't make shots. So we just Coach said keep shooting it with confidence, so that's all we could do.
You played against LeBron and AD for many years now. Are there any things that you've noticed being their teammates, kind of listening to in the huddle that either surprised you or made you think more of what you already would have thought?
Nah, just Bron doing this shit at 40 years old. You see what he did the last two games, efficient. He obviously shooting the 3-ball a lot better, now than when I first got in the NBA. But man, just how he adapt, his game to his, how old he is, and it's amazing to see. AD, I mean, we the same, high school class, so I've been seeing what he could do for a long time. I remember him popping out of, what is that? I remember him just, showing up out of nowhere because he was like a late bloomer a little bit. So it's cool to see him still going.
Yeah, he had that late growth spurt.
Yeah, late growth spurt. Yeah.
When you played against him the first time, though, was it a little bit like, wait, how does he have that kind of handle when he's that long? And
yeah, he was still, putting the ball on the ground, showing his all-around game. And then the next year in college, it looked like he grew a little bit more. So, yeah, it's been fun out here, though. Got 2 wins in a row. That's how we can celebrate.
Yeah, welcome to the team. I just wonder as you've been on a couple of teams at this point, what's been the difference in kind of just the Lakers organizations, your early impressions, and also Bron surpassed Michael Jordan tonight, being a part of, some accolades in history. Yeah, what is that like for you?
This is something I could share with my kids, really. I get to see greatness and witness greatness and play alongside of greatness. So, but the Lakers they've been showing nothing but love, the fans. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. Excited to make a run at this thing and try to see what we can do in the playoffs.
Dorian, this last run you guys have been on, or the team, I know it was before you guys got here, 8 of 11, Max and Austin, these guys talk about after that road trip in Miami and Atlanta that they kind of knew their roles a little better. Max knows he's going to go out there and guard the best guy and have some corner threes, and Austin's carrying the ball hand a little more. Your role's probably changing coming over from where you were at in Brooklyn a little bit. So what have they told you about your role, and are you figuring that out here with this team and these guys and these new teammates?
Nah, my role ain't pretty much changed much. You kind of know what you're getting with me. I think Coach JJ know that. You know, like he said, I done played with him. You know, he know what he getting out of me. I'm gonna play hard, crash the glass, shoot open threes. You know, make the right play. So ain't much change for me. Just new sets and new teammates and learning their tendencies.
Thanks, Joe.
Appreciate you.
Oh, man.
And in the less than a second when you get set to take a charge before a player and especially an athlete like Johnson come into you, how do you kind of ready yourself mentally knowing that pain is coming?
Well, last year that didn't turn out too good for me, as I'm sure y'all all remember when he dunked on me here. But it's really just, try to make a winning play. It's not going to feel good. I don't think any charge has ever felt good, but you do it to, help your team. And, that's really it.
JJ had mentioned that he relayed at halftime he wasn't thrilled with some of the specific game plan prep stuff that you guys had all talked about as a team, but yet you still had some decent control over the game throughout. Does that represent to you still some kind of upside where you're not executing great in certain aspects but you're still playing well overall?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with him. I don't feel like we played a good first half of basketball, but we were still winning. And when you do that, you can, take things that you were doing well to have that lead, and then you stack it on top of the things that you could do better. And, that's when you become a dangerous team. You win games that you're not, technically supposed to win, or you feel like you didn't play good enough to win. And then you turn around and you try to go play a perfect game, and you just continue to grow and get better.
Austin, you guys are in fourth right now in the West. I know we're a long way out from the finish line, but in your time here with the Lakers, you guys have been in that play-in. Has that been a stated goal at all in this locker room to avoid that, to try to give your guy as much seeding help as possible in the regular season?
I mean, I think it hasn't been talked about, like, let's get out of the play-in game. But I think it's a collective goal to win as many games as you can.
I just mean in terms of pour even more maybe into the regular season then.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think, I feel like I can speak for everybody when I say that, you attack every game to win the game. I know you're not saying that we don't, but, in the past, fighting to get in the playing game, it is draining, and you feel like you go into playoff mode, a month early just to, get in that position. Then you obviously when you're in that play-in, you play one of the top teams in the West, and it's a tough way to do it. But I mean, I think it's tough regardless. I think any team that wins in the play-in games is going to be a good team regardless of what they play. It's always going to be a good series.
JJ talked to us in here a while ago about not wanting this to be a good team, but wanting it to be a great team. And I'm sure he's told you guys pretty much the same thing. How far is this team from greatness?
I mean, we're a ways, to be honest with you. But everybody's working in the right direction to becoming that. He said that at halftime tonight. He was like, he came in, basically said that he was disappointed in some of the, game plan discipline stuff. And then when we was about to go out, he was like, basically, the reason I'm saying that is because I want to be a great team. I don't want to just be a good team. And, adding Doe and Shake, it's going to take time for them to, really, 100%, understand everything that we're trying to do. I feel like they've done a great job these last two games, but, we've thrown them in the fire, and, they're kind of out there just playing hard right now. And once they, fully understand exactly what we're doing, as long as everybody else learning to play with them, it's going to be, good for us. And, you always strive to be great.
Austin, for the French media, what is the key of the longevity of LeBron, according to you?
The longevity of what?
Of LeBron James, to be able to play at 40. What is the key of that?
That's a LeBron question. I see the work that he puts in every single day to, do what he does. He's always doing treatment, always, bettering himself somehow. I asked him last night after the game, how he would attack a back-to-back. And, it was a lot of treatment and a lot of, rest and, eating right and doing the right thing. So, if anybody wants to better themselves in, that aspect, I think he's the, model citizen of what that looks like. And he's open to, answering questions. I've done it for 4 years, picking his brain on what I can do to be better. But, yeah, he's incredible and took over the game in the fourth quarter.
So, Boston, how you're starting to draw the other team's top defender. You got Dyson Daniels, maybe an all-defensive player this year. How has that been for you, the experience of, how have you felt about it? How is it, how have you processed it? Obviously there were a lot of turnovers tonight. How's it going? Basically?
Yeah, I sit in here, I think it was 2-3 games ago, and I talked about, I'm going to go through growing pains of having this usage, having this responsibility. I've had it in the past, but not for, the length of time that, I'm going to have it now. And, I said the other night that, I'm going to continue to learn and get better. Obviously, he's a hell of a defender. He's physical. He grabs, pulls, in ways that he gets away with it. And, if people want to become a good defensive player, you need to watch him because he's disciplined. He does the right things. He's got active hands. And, it's not like going into the game, I didn't know any of that. But, I just did a poor job of taking care of the ball. And, like I said, I'll watch the film and, get better from that.
Austin, my question is more about you. You have always been, like, a really good player, but lately you have been, like, stepping up and play in an unselfish way. So I want to know if you think that something changed or if you're just getting more and more confident.
I've really enjoyed, the way, we've played basketball the last, 10 or so games. Not that I wasn't before, but, I feel like everybody's in a good rhythm. Everybody feels good. Everybody's touching the ball, and it's moving. Everybody's making the swing when you have the opportunity. It's just unselfish basketball, and that's the way you need to play. Yeah, but it's not about me. And it's about, everybody, putting me in positions to be successful, the coaching staff, players obviously making shots. And, I'm kind of just out there passing it to the open person. But like I said, it's not about me. It's, about the collective group that we have and, continuing to try to play the game the right way. And obviously, Bron and AD, helped me in so many ways that, the average basketball fan probably doesn't see. So, sometimes, my life is a lot easier than what it, probably really seems with them two out there and everybody else as well.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
Thank you.